It was a bitterly cold afternoon, and the city pulsed with its usual rhythm, cars honking, people rushing, eyes locked on phones or distant thoughts. At a sleek sidewalk café, a sharply dressed man named Daniel Mercer sat alone, sipping espresso and scrolling through business reports on his tablet. A self-made millionaire, Daniel was known for his sharp instincts and wealth, but not for warmth or sentiment. Across the street, crouched in the shadow of a trash bin, was a girl no older than 12. Her name was Lila. Dirt smudged her cheeks, her oversized hoodie was worn thin, and her shoes had long given up the pretense of protection. Her stomach ached with hunger, and her fingers trembled from the cold, but what hurt most was the way people looked through her, like she didn't exist. As she watched others dine and laugh, her eyes landed on Daniel. Something about his calm expression, the way he looked up at the sky between sips, gave her the courage to do something she hadn't done in days: ask for help. She crossed the street slowly, every step uncertain. A waiter stepped forward to intercept her, but Daniel raised a hand, curious. Lila stood quietly beside his table, eyes down, voice barely audible. "Can I eat with you?" she asked. The cafe fell into a sudden hush. Conversations paused. Even the wind seemed to slow. Daniel looked at her, not through her, not past her, but at her. He saw the bruises beneath her eyes, the cracked lips, the hollowed cheeks. And in her expression, he saw not just hunger for food, but a deeper hunger, to be acknowledged, to be seen. He didn't speak right away. Instead, he stood, pulled out the chair opposite him, and said gently, "Of course you can." Lila sat hesitantly, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Daniel signaled the waiter. "Bring 2 of everything warm," he said. The waiter nodded, fighting back unexpected emotion. Around them, murmurs rippled through the crowd, but Daniel didn't care. As the first bowl of soup arrived and Lila took her first spoonful in days, Daniel watched her quietly. Something inside him shifted. He didn't know it yet, but that one simple question, "Can I eat with you?" was about to change both of their lives forever. The warmth of the soup seemed to melt more than just the cold in Lila's bones. It softened the tension in her face, the fear in her posture. As she ate slowly, savoring each bite like it was gold, Daniel watched her in silence. Something about the way she held the spoon, careful not to spill a drop, broke him in places he didn't know could break. Between mouthfuls, he asked her gentle questions, and piece by piece, her story came out. She had lost her parents in a car accident 2 years ago. With no close relatives willing to care for her, she was shuffled between shelters, foster homes, and eventually the streets. "Sometimes people give me coins," she said softly, "but they don't look at me, like I'm not really there." Her voice didn't carry anger, only quiet sadness. Daniel felt his throat tighten. He, a man surrounded by fortune, had built skyscrapers but never noticed the shadows beneath them. He had walked these very streets in his early years, dreaming of a better life, but had forgotten those dreams were still dreams for so many others. When Lila finished her meal, she stood and whispered, "Thank you, sir," as if that alone repaid him. But Daniel wasn't finished. "Wait," he said, rising from his seat. He took off his coat and placed it gently over her shoulders. "You shouldn't be out here alone." He made a call to a private youth shelter he had once donated to, one that promised warmth, meals, and protection, and arranged for her to be picked up immediately. As they waited together, he bought her a bag of fresh clothes from the boutique next door. But it didn't end there. That night, shaken by what he'd seen, Daniel wrote a heartfelt message on social media, sharing Lila's story, her bravery, her hunger, her simple question. The post went viral within hours. The world was moved, but Daniel didn't stop at awareness. He established a foundation in her name, Lila's Table, a non-profit that would fund meals, shelter, and education for homeless children across the city. What began as a shared meal became a shared mission. And while Lila finally had a safe bed to sleep in that night, it was Daniel who lay awake, forever changed by a little girl who asked for nothing more than a place at the table.